All right, Pops, we got one more episode today.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about what happens. Let's say I get in an accident. And then
If that's the case, it's in my car, damn it.
yeah, all right. Let's say I just got in an accident in your car. I'm calling the insurance, and they're telling me where I need to go take it to get repaired. Yanni, why the heck would I be just going exactly where the insurance company's telling me where to go? Is there a reason? Is there a rationale? And should I, as the car owner, car buyer, consumer, should I take my vehicle somewhere else?
Well, in many situations, the insurance company wants to send you to one of their DRPs. DRP is the direct repair program contract that they have with that body shop. So they send that body shop X amount of volume, depending on their location and their size, and they get the insurance rates naturally that they're going to charge you, but they're also paying that body shop a reduced rate to fix your car. They're obligated to do it based upon how the insurance company dictates to fix the car, and not based upon how the manufacturer recommends to fix the car for quality of repair and quality of parts. So, they can cut corners, they can control the aftermarket parts, they can control the labor times, and you just end up with a maybe not so quality repair in many situations. Prime example, and I don't mean to keep going here, but I recently had a situation where a customer's car was brought in from the repair shop, from the body shop. They had installed a headlight and a module, and the body shop wasn't able to code that module, so they brought it to us as a sublet for us to code it for them. The technician did his video walk around and noted that the headlight that was installed, that was a remanufactured or reconditioned, as they call it, was, a clear lens and all the parts were in it, but one of the securement tabs was glued back on. When I say glued back on, I mean, they took a 2-part epoxy, glued it on into the position where it needs to be, and screwed it onto the body of the car. So, if I was that insured, right, and I pay a premium for auto insurance, and I pay for such and such coverage, if in my contract it says, to put on an aftermarket part because I didn't pay the premium to have the factory parts put on, just like, extended service contracts, then I'm abided to go ahead and have to use that aftermarket part and whatever warranties come with it. But I don't want an aftermarket part that then was also broken that they glued back together and put on my car. So, I have a big problem with, DRPs and how the insurance companies, steer you into having to go to one of their facilities using tactics like, well, if you take it somewhere else, it's going to take longer and it may cost you money out of pocket. I think people should do their own research about, who they can and who they can't, and see naturally who's going to do the right repair for them.
Now, can a consumer argue with the insurance company about taking it to let's say, for instance, they have a BMW, and I know, like in Dara's case, when she had an accident, or 2 or 3, they always send her, Geico always sent her to Caliber Collision.
Yep.
But I don't know that I would want to send, a 7 Series BMW to Caliber Collision. I might want to send it to a BMW dealer's body shop that is more familiar with doing those type of repairs. Can the customer insist that the insurance company allow them to take it to that type of facility instead of the one they want them to take it to?
So, the customer can insist all they want, but what it comes down to is your insurance coverage. If you have a high-end car, naturally, and it's fairly new, I would say 3 years or younger, then I think you should put a strong emphasis with your insurance company about taking it to what's called a certified repair collision center. Mm-hmm. This way, that facility is using only factory parts, using the factory paint. They're trained by the factory to paint it, even in the specific spray pattern that it needs to be painted. So this way, everything matches and blends. And they have the software and capabilities to do everything one-stop in-house. But in many situations, a car that's 4, 5, or 6 years old, you can request that all you want, but the insurance company will say, well, if they want $2,000 for this repair, and we're only going to cover $1,000 of it, you're going to be $1,000 out of pocket on it. So that gets tricky, but maybe not as often. You'll find that most certified repair facilities do not have a DRP, only because of the fact that the insurance companies don't want to pay the premium on that kind of repair.
That was about to be my question, which is there kind of a tell for when a shop is a DRP shop? Obviously, if your insurance company is telling you, hey, you got to go here. But I guess I'm just kind of curious in general as a consumer, like, are there tells about like the types of parts and the quality of workmanship done at specific shops? And I guess we've touched on this a bit in the past, but I'm curious if you can shed any more light here.
You can just ask them. You can just say, "Are you a DRP for State Farm? Are you a DRP for Allstate?" They have to say it. They have to tell you, actually. So there's no ways to try to figure it out or finagle a way to know if they do get so much volume. Just ask them, "Are you a DRP for this insurance company?" And if that's the case, going back to another video that we discussed, having your car post-purchase inspected after an auto accident, there are many cases where vehicles have to get repaired twice for the same incident because there were corners that were cut. And that has to do with the safety bonding and the safety welding behind major collisions. We're not talking about bumpers here, of course, but if you had a quarter panel or a fender replaced or a frame rail, if the weld is, so much bigger than the factory recommends, it changes the integrity and the structure and the reaction of a future oncoming situation, and it can put the insurance company and you in a horrible safe position and them in a huge liability.
I want to bring this back to car buying just for a second. So if I were to look at a Carfax, could I, and really hang tight with me here for a second, I think this will come full circle. If I were to look at a Carfax and I saw accident reported and it showed where and at which body shop or dealership the repair was done, a savvy car shopper that I am, I should call that repair shop and I should ask, are you a DRP? And that can start to give me some light or shed some light even before I do a pre-purchase inspection as to potentially the parts that were used in repairing that vehicle, things along those lines. Or am I overthinking this here?
No, I think that's fantastic, actually. You can't call them and say, oh, can you look up the history on such and such car? And, because you weren't the owner of that car at that time. So they technically, due to Hipaa regulations, won't and do not have to give you that vehicle information or history. I don't want to say if you schmooze someone, if you come in just asking questions, you don't have to ask for the hard copies. I think good people, good, service personnel will tell you what was done, what fields were repaired without getting too into detail, of course. But yeah, I think that was a prime example to call and say, hey, listen, if it was reported on Carfax, which is a whole different topic altogether.
Oh, definitely.
Are you a DRP for this insurance company? Yeah, for sure. And, again, that post repair inspection, I think is very, very important.
Yeah, makes plenty of sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got one final question for you, Yoni.
Yeah.
And there's a lot riding on this because I think what we'll do is, based on Yoni's response, the loser here has to buy dinner tonight. Sound good, Dad?
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Who wore it better? Who wore it better? Which one of us? Him? Me? Him? Me? We need an answer, Yoni.
I don't have a shirt, so I think I would wear it better.
Yanni's paid for dinner. Yanni, okay. You can Venmo me, you can PayPal me, you can just
White Castle it is. White Castle.
All right. Well, Yanni, thanks for running us through this. I had no clue what DRP stood for, and this is what I love about your auto advocate. It's like, especially with you, Yanni, I'm learning something new every episode. But yeah, DRP, that's a new one. I can't wait to hear how folks have experienced DRPs or take this and apply it in their next hopefully you're not getting into accidents, but the next time you're in this situation, let us know, how we were able to help.
And just remember, knowledge is power, and I've got the bigger, flabbier chest, so I've got more knowledge and more power.
Your arm's looking pretty good.
Yeah, I got a good arm, but that's about it.
Yanni t-shirt coming soon.
All that sweeping, right?
Yeah, from yesterday.
All right, guys, thanks so much.
Thanks, Yoni.
Right.
Have a good one.
Thanks, Ray. Thanks, Zach.